he was lucky to survive.
This is a marvellous catch by Brian McMillan. And look at the delight on Brett Schultz's face. His first test wicket. The baby at the side, just 22 years old. What joy for him. One newcomer getting another out. And what a good delivery.
We can see here how Ajay Jadeja opens the face of the bat. It was a tough delivery to face anyway, and by opening the face of the bat, he just made it easy for the ball to carry to second slip.
Merrick Pringle goes across in front of Brian McMillan, and that's why it's such a brilliant catch by McMillan. He has a very good pair of hands, has McMillan, and Jadeja out for 3 on his test debut.
Just the two Australians at the crease, and neither has changed ends in half an hour of play, but there's a change at the commentary box end. Greg Chappell, and with him, Carl Rackerman.
Thank you, David. Very pleasant morning here at Centurion Park. The sun shining brightly. Brett Schultz will continue from the river end. It's been a fairly indifferent start so far by the South African bowlers, harking back to the first test match. They wasted the first new ball. Alan Donald was guilty of that. They've gone a long way towards doing it again here. Australians a little bit vulnerable with the first use of the green tinged wicket. I must say it's probably the best looking test wicket of the 3 that we've seen so far. But you would expect the South African bowlers to be able to get some movement. In fact, they have got some movement, but they just haven't been able to put the ball consistently in the right place. Mark Taylor and Matthew Hayden have looked uncomfortable at times, but they really haven't been put under enough pressure. That's bowled him. One seemingly hurrying through a little bit on Matthew Hayden. Brett Schultz is delighted with it. A very good delivery, pitching around about off stump. May have just cut back a little bit. Matthew Hayden playing outside the ball. Seemed to come back between bat and pad. It crashes into his stumps. And the Australians have lost their first wicket, and it's a welcome to South Africa to Carl Rackerman.
Yes, and not quite the welcome that Matthew Hayden would have been looking for. With this delivery, it makes a difference if you bowl straight, and really that ball didn't do a lot. It's pretty much gone straight through, held its line, and Matthew Hayden has left a gap between bat and pad, and basically missed a straight ball there. It's 1 for 23, Australia. Brett Schultz has bowled this ball. It's a dead set straight delivery. Straight it off stump. There hasn't been enough of that so far this morning, making the batsman play, so that's one thing he's done right. Matthew Hayden has basically missed a straight one, gone straight through the gap between bat and pad. Here's another shot of it, stump cam. Don't think he'd know how he missed that.
Left arm over. Just a touch. That's the middle. You've got 4 to cut.
Shot for LB, I fancy. And he's given out. Steve Waugh is out for 67 as Terry Jenner joins us.
Well, Stephen Waugh pretty stiff. See the crowd rising to their feet. But you have to get the feeling here that this hits the outside of his boot or his pad. Swings a long way. And the bat never ever really getting there in time. It's off the outside of the pad. A good take by the keeper in the end. But umpire Kitchen has a good look and saw and adjudged Stephen Waugh. His head went back a little, but of course he ended up getting off the ground.
Amazing. Struck on the pad this time. No.
I think there could have been an inside edge. Now Schultz is down on his knees. He was pleading, and he feels like he has another one that's gone. He's holding the fingers up, whatever that means. I'm not sure, but umpire Kitchen is saying, I don't read that language. It's probably hand signs in Afrikaans or something, but they're swinging in, and you'd have to say that Ian Healy getting the benefit of the doubt, if there was any doubt.
I think you would. The bat was some distance from the ball. Still, that's no criteria in this session. Six for 205. This ball's driven back down the ground by Healy. Runs here. Coming back for his second. Cronje approaches the ball, slides, flicks it back. Great shot at that. Cronje bearing down on the camera, and they pick up 3. Well run, well fielded.
Yeah, Schultz just getting that one a little over pitch, but he's got the ball to move. This old ball, he's managed to make it swing. Healy getting forward that time. Previous delivery not close enough to it. Hansi Cronje, a good chase, and every run saved is one earned. Australia 6 for 208, having been sent into bat.
Bevan beaten by a beauty. Appeal for a catch behind again. Nothing doing from umpire Kitchen. What a superb delivery. Pitched on about off and then moved across him, and he was attracted like a moth to the flame. But not so that man.
Probably too good to get a nick. Let's have a look at this. Beautifully, he's getting the ball to swing. Why would you want to take the new ball when this man's moving the ball in this manner? Now, it could have flicked the pad. Looked to me as though it beat the outside edge. Of course, it's very difficult to tell when it gets bat and pad in close quarters, but that appears to clearly have beaten the outside edge of the bat. So maybe it was a lot of hope. Notice Richardson doesn't jump in the air immediately.
Bevan struck on the pad this time. He's given out. He didn't offer a stroke. Michael Bevan is out. Out for 6. And Australia lose their 7th wicket for 212.
He'd be disappointed, Michael Bevan. He was at 6s and 7s the whole way through this innings. And a marvellous piece of bowling here. We saw the away swinger. And this one just coming back, and you can see off stump there. It just hits the top of the pad. And I think umpire Kitchens probably said, yeah, I've had enough too.
That's if they do that. 7 for 212.
This is pretty poor show. I think they're booing Shane Warne for reasons known only to them.
Struck on the pad. Another very pleading shout, and he's given. Inspired spell from Brett Schultz back in Test cricket, and Australia slumped to 212 now for the loss of 8 wickets.
Warne looking back, can't believe it. That's 3 LBs in a row for him. Twice in the last match. He does have that habit of walking in front. Therefore, the umpire is always going to see that. And it certainly doesn't help him get any benefits. You can see he's a long way across, and that ball swinging down the leg side. I think it could be considered to be just maybe a little unfortunate. Australia are now 8 for 212.
So just after tea, Australia cruising at 4 for 195. They've lost their last 4 wickets for 17 runs. Jason Gillespie has been sensational with the ball so far in this series. Great test at Port Elizabeth. Now required to do something with the bat. Australia reeling. Last ball of the over. Gillespie gets back the ball, keeps him out. 8 for 212.
Brilliant piece of fielding. There's no doubt their tails are up. And I think part of the reason, apart from some runs that Klusner himself made, 30 spanking runs from the captain, Hansi Cronje, apart from that, it was what Greg Chappell is talking about, the fact that Australia seemed to be curdling back to the fence and not really trying to bowl those last couple of batsmen out. I suppose psychologically that does have a lifting effect, an uplifting effect on the side about to bowl. A big shout. I can't imagine that being given by umpire Mitchley. He has given it. Goodness me. I find it hard to believe. Shouldn't be playing that sort of shot. But I find it hard to believe that you could consider the decision for that long.
We've seen Matthew Hayden out bowled before padding up. It's a very dangerous ploy at any stage in the innings. The ball's swinging. He's come well forward. It's hit him just outside the line of off stump. Then the knee bends. Where the ball struck him, Cyril Mitchley almost replaying the whole thing in his mind before he gives the decision. I'd say it was pretty close. They've got to be given.
I'd like to think they'd be that consistent. We saw a heap of them from the other end where Warren was bowling top spinners and flippers, none of which were given, Greg. But Australia in trouble.
Now it's SCHULTZ. Off his hip, War. Throw at the stumps to the bowler's end. Narrowly misses. That would have been very close. Nice work by Bucker.
Here we see in replay Steve Waugh just playing it down in front of square leg. Good bit of fielding, quick to the ball, and well, good night. Luckily for Australia, the ball did not hit the stumps. Steve Waugh, another run to his total.
Healy gets a bouncer.
Well, I noticed South Africa this morning, they've basically, here we see the second dismissal, Bevan sweeping, and the turn of Simcox from outside Bevan's leg stump. Michael Bevan with his pad down a different line to where the ball was coming. Once he'd missed it, there's nothing to save him. Bowled around his legs, which was tragedy for Australia.
Simcox 2 wickets. Healy playing out of a crouch and prodding it out towards mid-off.
South Africa this morning and late yesterday afternoon seemed to work it out that bounces weren't really the go for Steve Waugh, but Ian Healy this morning has been getting a few high bounces. It's well known that he likes playing the hook shot, and obviously South Africa realised that that's one way of perhaps dismissing Ian Healy.
Inside edge, was he caught? He's given out, down leg side. Healy can't believe it. Richardson going to his left. Healy shaping to glance. And that ball sliding to Richardson, who did extremely well. The Aussie vice captain is not happy.
He is not happy, and that's a major blow for Australia at this stage. This ball pitched just outside leg stump, and Healy has gone to play a leg glance. Terrific catch by Richardson. Covered a lot of ground, took it low to his left, but clearly you could see the ball hitting the pad of Ian Healy. And whether or not there was a bit of inside edge or not is too hard to tell from here. In any case, Australia now 7 for 131.
So Australia in all sorts of trouble, and it's been that way, a rearguard action since they started batting in their second innings. And the feisty Ian Healy sends his bat on ahead. Watch it again. SCHULTZ the star in Australia's first innings. Well, the bat seemed to get there late. That ball onto the pad. Brilliantly done by Richardson. We've seen that a couple of times. The controversy of Richardson going down leg side. He caught Steve Waugh in similar fashion in the first innings. And certainly the bat was still further away from the ball. That one it would seem.